We would like to welcome Dr. Kongkiat Opaswongkarn, CEO of Asia Plus Securities, who will be discussing the company's business mission.
At Asia Plus Securities, we position ourselves as a full-service securities firm. We provide service not only to our high net worth and retail clients domestically, but also provide service to our overseas investors as well. We have 5 areas of major business at Asia Plus Securities. First area is stockbroking business. This is our core business, basically bread and butter. We have over 350 marketing officers speaking to our clients, and we cover over 40,000 accounts through retail investors through our branch network. This area of business represents about 60% of our top line. Of course, we have 17 branches spreading throughout Thailand, 5 of them located in Bangkok and the rest scattering throughout the country. We also do business with foreign investors as well, apart from local investors. I think one of our advantages is that we invest immensely in our research team. We cover over 170 listed companies on the stock exchange, which represents over 90% of the market capitalization of Thailand. Of course, on the Thai exchange, we have over 500 listed names. And that's our key strength in penetrating this market. Our market share in this area in the past 5 years has been ranked as number 2 amongst over 30 brokers in Thailand. The second area of our business is investment. We invest in both overseas as well as domestic equity and bonds. Apart from that, we also invest in some exotic products overseas from time to time, depending on situations and opportunities. We also have a private equity team to look at certain deals that haven't come to the market but may seek financing prior to going public. Investment basically represent between 20 to 25% of our top line, which is also quite important. The third area of our business is asset management, as well as private banking. We cover over 200 families, big families, that seek our advice to invest their assets. Apart from that, we also have mutual funds that cover broad-based investors in Thailand. This area of business normally represents between 10 to 15% of our top line. Also, it's recurring income and it's quite important. We also work with a number of respectable names from overseas that manage funds, and we help sell them to our local investors. The fourth area of our business is investment banking and capital market. Of course, this area is not that big in the past several years, representing only 5% of our top line. But we expect that in the year 2013, this portion of business is expected to grow dramatically due to the rise in our fundraising through IPOs as well as bond offerings. This year, we expect to help Thai companies raise over $600 million compared to almost maybe less than $100 million in the past years or so. So it's a dramatic jump, and we will increase our market share as well as our top line in this area. The last area of our business is equity derivatives. We are amongst the pioneers in Thailand to offer these sort of products to our local investors. Of course, the product is only a few years old in the market and is expected to grow. We have a big team supervising this area of business, and hopefully we should be able to educate more local investors to participate. And that basically wraps up the broad picture of Asia Plus Securities. And currently, of course, we have over 700 people working in our group. Front to back ratio is 2 to 1. And of course, we try to expand effectively through a computer and IT system in order to attract more client base. We started our M&A business in 1995, and we closed one of the largest, even today, Thailand's largest M&A in the retail sector, worth close to $1 billion. At that time, that was almost 20 years ago. And of course, we have been leading in this area of business. Of course, we have been advising Thai clients merging with another Thai company, as well as cross-border, foreigner coming in or Thai going out. For instance, in the past, we helped a Thai company acquiring a well-known auto part companies in Japan. We also helped a Thai company divesting its investment to a Middle East investor. So I think it could be, all kind of areas depending on the synergy that they are looking at. We have been working on a few M&A deals lately, and depending on the situation, we are waiting for the outcome. In terms of IPO, I think definitely this year is amongst the best year of Asia Plus history, as far as I can remember since the Lehman crisis in 2008. Of course, the IPO market in Thailand was shut down in the past few years due to the unfavorable market situation, but it has opened up lately, particularly late 2012 and 2013. We expect to help Thai company raise over $600 million this year. And of course, the deal flow remains very robust. We expect to help some of the most well-known and recognized brands to raise money. And of course, the response from local investor will be overwhelmed. I think the best thing about Asia Plus Securities is my philosophy to always work with market leaders in respective industries, either number one or number two. We try to avoid to work with smaller firms if we can. Of course, depending on what their strengths will be. But of course, we always work with respectable names, and that would be the highlight of our M&A, as well as advisory work activities within Asia Plus. If you look at our brokerage business in the past 5 years, our market share is number 2 amongst over 30 brokers in Thailand. So I think in terms of market share, we are definitely on the forefront. At the same time, we seek to invest more on our internet trading system, as I believe that the younger generation will prefer to trade online. I think one of the key areas that emphasizes our strength in broking is that we invest heavily in research. Basically, I was born from research myself as a broker in the old days. So I hired a large team of over 30 analysts and technical analysts and supporting staff. We cover 90% of the market capitalization of the listed companies in Thailand. Of course, Thailand has more than 500 firms listed on this exchange, and we cover over 170 companies that represent almost the entire market. So of course, because of our broad knowledge, I think we have the strength that can attract a lot of new investors as well as existing investors to invest with us. We have direct access to CEO of mostly large as well as medium and small companies, so clients can get to know them very well. We have roadshows, we conducted direct interview with these people, apart from writing research to follow up on these companies. We also have our ASP Smart, the so-called ASP Smart, which is an application on iPhone that clients can check. I even have a client in Los Angeles who read our research through iPhone on a daily basis and trade on the Thai exchange. So this is just to give you some example. So that's why I think in the longer term, with the strength that we have, plus the IPO flows that we have, we can attract a lot of new clients coming in, as well as maintain and keep our existing clients. We have done a deal with Jefferies lately, so that Jefferies will channel all their institutional business through Asia Plus in the future. Of course, we are working on setting up the team at this moment, and going forward, I believe that the new inflow from Jefferies would also increase our market share. We believe that we need to open up our market to domestic investors. First of all, because of liberalization set pace by the Central Bank of Thailand, which allow local investors to invest overseas legally, which means that in the future, most of our clients, particularly large corporations as well as high net worth clients, will be repatriating their cash investment overseas, either through acquisition of business overseas, expansion overseas, or investment in stocks as well as papers overseas. So that's why we believe that it's utmost important for our company to stay competitive. And therefore, we have provided this sort of overseas advisory work to most of our clients, not only in investment, but also in advisory work, M&As, as well as fundraising. We help Thai companies to acquire, for instance, Japanese companies during the crisis in Japan in the past few years. We also advise, for instance, one Middle East investor to divest of its holding in a Thai company, and so on and so forth. I think the business direction could be either way, either out to in or in-out transaction. At the same time, we believe that for Asia Plus, it is important for us to stay competitive in terms of not trying to tie up with one particular foreign firms. So we prefer to work with different group of companies from overseas to stay independent. And that's why we remain competitive and stay at, let's say, amongst the leading securities firm in Thailand at the current moment. On the broking side, of course, we link up with Jefferies. We also have done business with Morgan Stanley and a few other large firms. We also help sell funds of some of the well-known names from overseas, like Templeton, Fidelity, and so on and so forth. So I think these are the key areas. That's why we don't want to link up with any particular group. And we probably follow the same philosophy going forward. Basically, Asia Plus Securities plan to take a number of respectable names for fundraising this year. We have well-known restaurant chains in Thailand. We have a beverage company in the pipeline. We have a very high-end property developer company in the pipeline, and also an overseas power plant, which is going to be the foreign listings on the Thai Stock Exchange, one of its kind. Basically, this year we plan to help these companies raise over $600 million worth. But apart from that, we have been working on a few advisory deals for Thai companies to acquire overseas companies, as well as working with overseas investment banking firms to help them seek local Thai partners for their business expansion. Apart from that, we plan to help Thai companies raise over $3 to $4 billion worth of debt through debentures as well as short-term papers. I think it's quite important for these sort of listed and unlisted company to have some working capital as well as long-term loan to fund the expansion. So we have been quite busy with that, and we hope that we could be among the leaders in these areas. Apart from that, of course, we have been expanding our investment banking business into advising some Chinese companies to seek listing on Thailand as well. That's another area of business. We also work with well-known foreign companies to expand our brokerage business. Link up with Jefferies from US would be this avenue. Apart from that, we have been expanding our private banking activities. We plan to work with a number of well-known investment firms overseas to help offer their products to our high net worth clients. So these are some of the areas that we cover this year and hope to expand.
On a final note, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of the European for winning the award for Advisory Broker of the Year 2013.
Thank you very much.